a few choices. I learned the voices died with me. When I was a child, I'd sit for hours.
You are listening to the Walking Dead TV podcast. This is episode 183 for season 7, episode 5 of The Walking Dead, entitled Go Getters. I am Craig Demondo. Joined with me this evening, Mr. Richard Chub Toad Sheldon.
Let us have a little talk with Jesus.
And Mr. Jim Dietz.
That's a real nice painting you got there.
He was like enamored with that painting, right? He just loved it.
It was kind of a badass painting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So just the three amigos tonight, guys. Aaron and Daryl couldn't make it, but Aaron did send his Buster ratings and his review of #Passage as well. So we'll get to that a little bit later.
Well, thank God.
I'm sorry, wait.
Hashtag Passage is brought to you by Taco Bell.
Thank you.
Presented by Taco Bell Live Moss.
I did not put a corporate sponsor in there. Shame on me. Shame on me. Yum Brands will start coming after me. Okay, I apologize.
If this corporate, if we don't all work for the corporate synergy, then how do we expect it to work for us?
Jim, you're absolutely right, sir. I'm ashamed of myself. So this episode was directed by Darnell Martin, written by Channing Powell. Your initial thoughts, guys, before we jump into it?
It was an episode.
It was it was an episode.
It was very middle of the road with a few special moments in it, and especially some little Easter egg hints or foreshadowing for us comic fans. At least I hope so. The way I read it. So, but for the most part, it was kind of just down the middle episode. Not bad, not great, but I liked all the Jesus stuff, and we definitely start to see the makings of a leader in Maggie. So, there is some differences there from what we read in the comics, and that's what I want to explore because it's very interesting. But overall, I wasn't blown away, but I enjoyed it.
I'm glad they we always get The Walking Dead, these really impactful episodes, and pun intended, with Negan and stuff, and then we get these other episodes that are they kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit. Give characters time to decompress and kind of explain what they're going through and stuff. Yeah. And I'm glad they used an episode like that instead of just kind of squandering it. They used it to actually advance some character stuff here with Maggie and with Sasha and Jesus and everything going to Hilltop. I just was I like the character development in the episode, and I thought obviously it wasn't like a blockbuster like the season opener or whatever, but it's definitely a good kind of connective tissue behind the scenes of what's going on while everybody else is doing this. This is what's happening here.
Yeah, it's the best use of a bottle episode I think we've seen on this series.
I'm impressed this season where they're giving us neat little packages. Like they're nice little 1-hour stories that wrap themselves up pretty much. I know we're building to something bigger, obviously, but they're not stretching needless details across 6 or 7 episodes like the show has done before. And for this being a quote-unquote filler episode, again, I'm wrenching thinking back at season 4 or 5 where they're on the train tracks for a whole episode, or they're on the farm for a whole episode. I mean, where absolutely nothing happens. Or
they were on the farm for a whole half a season, not just an episode.
Yeah, exactly. I remember last season too, we had some just Alexandria episodes where just showing the Alexandria people. It's like, dude, there's nothing else going on but that. And then eventually the Wolves came and some stuff happened, but it's like this for a quote-unquote filler episode was nice. It was satisfying to me. I didn't feel like wanting anything more after this. And so I don't know if this is deliberate or the show's kind of just getting into more of a groove, but I like that they're giving us these neat little packages. Right. They're not lingering on stupid details for ad nauseum.
They're going back to a classic serial storytelling process. And basically what that is we have our arc, which luckily they're not doing a whole season arc that's dragging out like what you're talking about that they've done in the past, but we have a clear arc, a clear storyline of the war against the saviors that's coming or whatever, with great foreshadowing and things going on. But each episode is its own thing. It's like you said, it's a package, and it's just a very nice way to tell a story. We get a story contained within the whole story, and that's just good television. And I'm kind of glad they went that way and not with a lot of the experimental stuff that they've done in the past, which has been hit or miss.
Yeah.
I also like that they took the focus off of Negan and Rick this episode. I mean, we didn't see Negan at all. We only saw Rick for a minute or two when he's saying goodbye to Michonne. And I think giving us a break from those characters for a little bit is a good idea, especially in this kind of episode where they're kind of getting their foot off the gas a little bit and kind of slowing down the storytelling just a minute to of course ramp things up for the season finale. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see it as a filler episode, more just like a character driven and connective tissue episode. Kind of keeping the plot and storyline together.
And talk about characters. We've got some really interesting. If you think back now, we've got some interesting characters to deal with between this guy Gregory, Xander Berkeley, and Simon. Was named Stephen Ogg, I think his name is the actor. We've got some like a secondary or even tertiary characters that they can carry a story. I mean, Jesus. I mean, these are all they're not part of the main ensemble cast. I mean, if you want to say that the arcs are in the credits, maybe, but I mean, they're not part of our core group, but they're telling a story in their own way. And our core group is split up amongst these different towns. You got 2 of them over in the Kingdom. You got a couple of them over now in the Hilltop, and you got the main was left of them in Alexandria. But they can still carry a story. These are good actors. I really love that scene between Xander Berkeley and Ogg. Those two in that room together. It was just great acting. I just enjoyed it.
Well, I thought at any moment he was going to get killed. Watching that immediately as I was watching that, and that goes to Stephen Ogg and his really good, good performance. I really enjoyed that here. He really had that kind of menacing thing going on, but in a different kind of tone than Negan had. It was in the same, I guess you call it ballpark or whatever, but still that kind of intimidation that you probably put that across. Definitely in that scene.
He has this whimsical way about him. Like we remember in the season closer last year, he goes, "All right, you've made it. Welcome. He's the guy. He has a hatchet." Like he has this kind of funny way of delivering his lines. Like he's I really like this guy a lot. Like I said, I like these little Negan henchmen, and him especially being the numero uno, or the what did Kevin Smith call him on The Talking Dead, the Vice Negan. I guess is what he is. Yeah, I like it though.
It's so awesome that I mean, before this, Stephen Ogg is known for being Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's basically him. It is him.
And it's kind of a lot of that. Some of that's definitely coming through. I mean, because Trevor was just a psychotic, and he didn't know what happened next, and just very much an agent of chaos, just like his character is in this as well.
And he had a scene in Better Call Saul, which I totally forgot about last year. It was kind of a forgettable little scene, but it was actually really good between him and Michael there. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's right.
In the parking garage, and he disarms him. He's got 6 guns on him or something. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah. Pimento or whatever. All right, so getting to The Walking Dead, let's just jump right into it. Cold open, we see Maggie opening her eyes, and she's focusing on some blue flowers that are in a vase in the room that she's in. Obviously, she made it to the Hilltop because Dr. Carson is there to explain to Maggie that she suffered from a mild separation of the uterus, I think, or something like that. He said, caused by maybe some trauma to her abdomen. And that made me think for a second. Did she get injured in that fight with the wolves? Is that what happened? Is that where she got hit? I mean, so far back now.
It could be any of those. I mean, it could be any trauma in the past few months. I mean, pick a fight. It could have been any of those times.
That's true. So she had some trauma there.
If I remember though, it just seemed like she got overstressed, and that caused some issues, but it could have been from inflammation of different attacks and things like that. But
that attack happened over several episodes. It's hard to remember where she got injured, and maybe she was stuck in the tower for a while and she got down. I don't know. So I have to go back and watch it. But either way, she had some kind of injury, or like you said, perhaps stress that made her pregnancy be complicated there, and she was bleeding. And she questions the doctor whether she lost the baby, and the doctor said no, the baby's healthy, and even put a little sonogram monitor on it so you can hear the fetal heartbeat. And but he suggested, however, that I'd like you to remain here until you come to term. That way she can be close in case something else happens. Sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Now I don't know if I'm wrong for this or if I'm the only one that did this, but for just a brief second in my mind, when he put the sonogram onto her to hear the baby, I just thought it'd be hilarious if all we heard was brains.
Like if his dad was trying to claw his way out of her or something. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I guess I'm just messed up in the head.
I guess you are. Outside, we see Sasha sitting down. She's eating an apple. Maggie then walks out to see her. Maggie wants to know where the bodies of Abe and Glenn are buried. Sasha takes Maggie to the gravesite, which is behind some buildings, looks like, but near the fence, so kind of just out of the way a little bit at the hilltop there. Sasha reaches inside her pocket and gets Glenn to watch and hands it to Maggie, and then jokes that Abraham only had one cigar in him. That's the only thing he was carrying around. Maggie tells Sasha about the doctor's suggestion that she stays put until the baby comes to term, and Sasha says, yeah, okay, if that's what it takes, I'm here with you. We're staying put. Next, we see Jesus coming into the scene, bringing some fresh cut flowers to the graves. How nice of him. He also confesses to furnishing the blue flowers in Maggie's room, saying that he read a book somewhere saying that they promote healing. Very nice, very thoughtful Jesus.
Well, he is Jesus after all.
He's a thoughtful Jesus, though. Yes, he's taking care of his peeps.
And he knows how to drop kick.
Yes, he does.
I love the kung fu. I love it. It's a kung fu, Krav Maga, whatever it is. He got some kind of unique style. I love it. Like, we'll get to it when the fight scene comes. But what is doing like a flying kick to a zombie going to really do? I mean, I don't know. It still looks cool though. I love
It
to
looks
see
cool.
it.
That's what it does. That's all you need. It looks cool.
Yeah. So Gregory then strolls onto the scene, visibly agitated as he usually is. He's
Douche. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Let me say something. I cannot stand this douchebag coward of an asshole that is just and the more frustrated and I wanted to punch him, the more I was like, this actor is fantastic.
He's awesome. He always plays that kind of character though. Think about all the stuff he's been in for the last 30 years. He's been in TV, movies. He always plays that kind of character, right? So it's like
He reminds me of like William Atherton from Ghostbusters. I mean, that's true. This man has no dick. That guy. He always his entire like thing was playing that kind of guy. You know, Weasley.
Yeah.
So
well, he just looked like Weasel because wasn't he the television reporter guy in Die Hard also?
He was.
Yep.
Yeah, he was on.
Yep,
He's
yep.
so much. You can look through all 80s, 90s television. He's been in everything. He's been like
Real
24.
Genius.
Yeah, you name the show. He's been on there, right? It's like
Same thing. Real genius. Yeah.
yeah. So he's glad that Marcia is on her feet and they now have to go. It's like, thank you, I'm glad you're feeling better. You have to go. He said that he thought their deal was for the group to take out Negan's crew. And Maggie explained that look, they did take him out, but it was only turns out to be one of his outposts. Actually, he's got hundreds of people. Maggie then says that the doctor suggests that she should stay, but Greg says that the doctor does not have the authority to make that kind of decision. He's getting more flustered. Then he starts to tell Sasha to stay away from Maggie and focus on her work here at the hilltop. And Gregory is annoyed that there are two graves there, insisting that we don't bury these dead, we burn them. But Jesus then tells Greg, hey, look, that's Sasha. She doesn't live here. She's from Alexandria, just like Maggie. This guy's so confused. He thought Sasha was one of his.
There aren't that many people at the hilltop that he should not be remembering names. I mean, what a dick!
The only guy's name he does remember is Jesus. So.
That's the only one, right? He calls Rick Rich, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone loves
And
him.
later on in the episode, he's like, who the hell is Sasha?
Right, exactly. Who the hell is Sasha?
After they introduce him to him or to him here, you know.
Amazing. So again, Greg says that they have to go. He said that they didn't live up to their end of the deal, and if the saviors come and find them here and these graves apparently, they'll think that he colluded with these people. And Maggie reminds him that, well, yeah, we kind of did collude. Either way, Greg wants plausible deniability. And Jesus says it's not safe to leave during the day. They should rest and then leave maybe tomorrow morning instead. Greg agrees to let them stay the night. Even suggests that Jesus leave with them. He's even mad at Jesus right now, saying, hey, you want to go with them, go. And says that the matter is settled. Then Sasha, as Greg is walking away, says, well, no, it's not settled. Maggie's pregnant. And Greg says, well, that's her mistake. And then just kind of trots off.
Douche move.
So back to Alexandria. Carl is playing some darts, but missing.
You know what? Hold on.
Yes.
Carl's hair, man.
It's getting out of control.
Yeah.
It's like a spirit.
Can I
Like
say
that
for a
season.
minute? Look, if you can see me, I know this podcast is just an audio medium.
Yes.
But if you can see me, I'm shaking my head. I'm SMH. Carl's hair, okay?
It's
Carl's
just
hair. Come on, man.
too much,
Carl,
huh?
please. You're not in the Quiet Riot cover band in the '80s, all right?
Well, it looks like he hasn't cut it since like 4 seasons ago. Like that's just natural growth, like 5 years, right? After that is.
You're not roadieing for My Chemical Romance, okay? Please. Cut your hair, dude. Come on. At least tie it back or do something. I mean, sorry.
Well, Daryl's in the same boat. And you can really see his face anymore, right? It's like it's covering him too. I mean,
You know, usually like on DCTV podcast, or my co-host Jerry points these kind of things out.
yes.
But I have to say, Carl, the hair. Come on, man.
So besides his hair getting away, yeah.
Well, I thought it. Maybe he was doing it to kind of cover his eye hole thing, but I'm with Jim. It's out of control.
You're not in the Bay City Rollers, please.
I think the actor, probably the producers.
R-D-A-Y.
I think he decided, look, I mean, let's just let this kid's hair grow and not cut it for a couple of years. Like that's what they're basically doing here, right? I mean,
Do something with it. I mean, look at Jesus. He has nice long hair, and it looks good.
he needs a little trim. He needs a trim. He needs a little touch up. He needs coffee.
It looks like he's like half feathered it and half didn't, and like the kind of little spurt sticking out from his ears.
Jim, it's hard to
Carl.
find a good volumizer when you're in the zombie apocalypse. That's all I'm saying.
Just cut it out, man.
Just
Tie
cut it
back something, anything. But
I can see a little ponytail. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. A little ponytail.
Coral.
Carl doesn't need to be sensitive ponytail guy. No.
Coral, please.
So Coral is playing darts with his long hair, but missing the board terribly. Like he just keeps missing to the left really bad with those darts. And I guess they're trying to show maybe he's got problems with depth perception or something because of the losing the eye. I'm assuming.
You think?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Carl was a pretty good marksman before all that and everything. He had built up to becoming pretty good. I'm just saying, after the first 3 or 4, you would think that he would be like, okay, I think I'm aiming right, and he would adjust. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's weird that he kept missing.
Yeah, that was a little strange. I guess The Walking Dead is, known for throwing things on the head or on the nose, and that's exactly what they did here. Okay, he keeps missing. We get it. His aim is off. All right, we got it. So Rick is talking to him and insisting that Carl joins them for a supply run, saying, look, we need you. We're going to get out there and get some supplies. But Carl's being stubborn. He doesn't really want to go. And Michonne is also apparently staying behind from this run. On the way out, though, Rick tries to give Michonne a little peck on the cheek, but she kind of slows him down, gives him a very nice, passionate kiss on the lips, and Rick simply says thank you and then leaves and gives her a radio or something so they can stay in touch. But I thought that was actually pretty nice, like that Michonne really still, even though Rick is somewhat broken, and she may not even agree with him at this point of what he's choosing to do and being subservient to Negan and whatever, she still loves this guy. And that was a nice scene. I just hope it's not a kiss goodbye. Like, that was what I was worried about. Like, I hope this is not the end, because I kind of like this little romance between the two of them.
I mean, she says as much. In the next scene with Carl. Carl's like, you really along on the same with Negan or whatever. And she goes, even if I don't agree with him, your father, I'm still with him. And
Yeah.
So I mean, she's kind of alluding to the fact that maybe she's saying, kind of setting her sights on, going against the saviors as well.
Okay, it could be. So I mean, she left. We don't know where she went to when she leaves the house here. So Carl then asks why Michonne didn't go with Rick. This is before she leaves. And Michonne says that she has some things to work out on her own. Carl insists that Rick is wrong. I guess he's implying he's wrong for being subservient to Negan. Like they shouldn't be doing this stuff. And Michonne almost agrees, but like you said, says that Rick might still be right, and we have to give it a chance. And then she just leaves Carl alone in the house. And then out the window, Carl's looking out the window, sees Enid scaling the wall again, like she always is, trying to escape the place. Once again, to leave the community. He then runs out and confronts her. He says that she says that she wants to go see Maggie. Carl says, okay, but it's a long way to the hilltop, and I'm not going to save you anymore. He's tired of running after her, which I can't blame him. How many times has he done it already, trying to save her from running away? She's a little mad at him still for locking her up in the armory. I guess when all the action was going down. But yeah, and then he made it back alive when Glenn did not. She did apologize though that he had to watch it. Like, I'm sorry you had to watch it. And Carl said, I'm not sorry. So setting up a little something for later there. At the hilltop, Jesus is letting the two ladies stay at his trailer. I guess that was his trailer, right? Or was that just a guest trailer? I don't know. It seems like it was his place, but who knows? Sasha questions why he isn't the leader instead of Gregory. He says that he just isn't a leader. It's not his thing. He says he just tries to help.
That's not me, man. That's what he says. That's not me, man.
I do have a question about, and it's really unrelated to the story, but I just have to ask it because I noticed it several times when they're in this trailer. Why is there a lobster bib tacked to the wall?
I did see that too. I don't know. It's gotta be some Easter egg. It's gotta be some Easter egg for something, you know?
Well, that's why I was like, is there an inside joke I'm missing or something? Because I'm just like, why is there a clean lobster bib tacked to the wall?
Was that getting you a little hungry for lobster? Like when you saw that, did you start thinking lobster
Absolutely
and hot
not,
butter?
because I think lobster is absolutely disgusting.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a cockroach of the sea.
Cockroach. People pay a lot of money for that cockroach, man. I'll tell you.
I'm not kidding. It's actually of the same genus and species as the cockroach. So yes, I don't eat lobster.
Don't tell me. I go to Maine every year, man, and get the stuff right out of the water. Now you tell me cockroach. Now you got me thinking twice.
Yep.
So anyway, he says he's not a leader. He just tries to help. Sasha says that he has to do more to Jesus. He then reaches into his pocket and gives Sasha a necklace. I kind of forgot about this too. But Abraham lost it the first time he was in town. I guess during the scuffle they had with the I guess it was like their own people when they came back from the Saviors. There was a little bit of a scuffle and he lost it. Maggie then asks why do they burn the dead here at the hilltop? What do they have to remember them by if they burn the bodies? Jesus replies, they just keep going and they remember the people that are dead. The people is what keeps it going. The people that are still alive. Okay. He then leaves the two ladies to sleep. Sasha and Maggie chat a little bit and agree that Gregory is basically an idiot. And Maggie corrects Sasha and said, well, he's more than an idiot. He's more dangerous because he's actually a coward. Which we're going to find out, and I guess he is.
Yep.
Enid is riding her bicycle on the road, cut to her again, when she is ambushed by a couple of walkers, surprise, surprise. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, a blue Crown Vic just drives by and mows down the walker, and it kind of crashes into this gas station air pump or something. But the walker's not dead yet, so then the car then reverses over the walker and pins it to a wall, I guess between the trunk and the car. Then the window rolls down, we see it's Carl driving the car.
Drives like his mom.
And she was driving a Ford too, it's pretty funny. Enid asks, what's he doing? What are you doing? He says, I felt like a drive. I guess it's supposed to be a cute moment there. Cut back to the hilltop. All's quiet, everyone's sleeping, and then suddenly we hear Beethoven playing outside, and they're woken by this. Sasha and Maggie are woken by the sound of the music blasting from an old AMC Gremlin, a green one.
Nice.
Yes. I thought it was a pacer at first, but then I realized it was a Gremlin. The main gates to the hilltop are wide open, and there are 3 bonfires, and they're all set, I guess, to attract walkers along with the music. So this is a pretty elaborate little trap that was set up here throughout the night. But then somehow, I didn't understand this part, they couldn't get out of their trailer. Like, did somebody lock it from the outside so they couldn't get out?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, did Gregory lock them in? What
Jesus or whoever, right? Yeah, why would they be locked into that trailer? It makes no sense, right? Unless the Saviors did it. Like, they go around and lock all the doors so people were trapped inside their houses.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I just didn't get that part. It didn't seem apparent to me, but either way, Sasha escapes through the roof hatch and starts to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
After the commercial, we see Maggie has also made it through the roof hatch, and Sasha's trying to tell her to relax, sit down, don't stress yourself, I'll get this. But Maggie sees Jesus when she's on the roof of the trailer and screams to him, hey, get down there, Sasha's down there, go and help her. And she's kind of directing him, and he jumps down and tries to help. She also directs 2 townspeople to get the gates closed. So she's already taking a leadership role, even in this moment of crisis. Right. Sasha makes it to the AMC, but all of the doors and windows have been welded shut and protected with like metal grating. And there's also this little metal like hand with the middle finger sticking up at the rear hatch. Like, that's it. You're not getting in this car. More walkers keep coming in from outside the town. Gregory, though, we see him for a minute. He's in his bedroom. He looks through the window and sees what's going on, but then does nothing. He just kind of walks back from the window. He does absolutely nothing. Then suddenly, and then almost, I want to say too suddenly, we see this huge John Deere tractor, a humongous one, being driven backwards by Maggie, running over several walkers, and eventually it crushes the AMC to just rolls it over to like nothing, like a monster truck rally, and then the music eventually stops.
Nothing runs like a deer.
So, I mean, that was actually a pretty cool graphic there. You see those big wheels roll over the dead. That was actually pretty neat to see that. Carl and Enid are strolling down the street back to them. She's still asking what it was like to watch his friends die. And Carl again said he didn't blink. He watched the whole thing. He wanted to remember it, so when it came time to kill Negan, he'd remember. And then Carl again apologizes for locking her in the armory. Enid says that she didn't need to be there with Negan anyway or something. She didn't need to see that with her friends being killed. So they're just talking and walking and just working their way towards Hilltop, I guess.
They haven't found the roller skates yet?
Not yet. That's a little later. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
They cut a lot of scenes in here. Yeah.
It's very like a John Hughes movie. John Hughes zombie movie.
just need to be Chicago in the winter. It would have been perfect, right? That would have been the ice skating instead of roller skating. That would have been perfect.
Shermer, Illinois.
Yeah, I was going to say, in John Hughes' fictional Shermer, Illinois.
Shermer, is that what it is? Okay.
Yep.
The next morning, Gregory has resorted to drinking some fine scotch in his office. I think it was Balvenie, by the way. I couldn't get a good look at the bottle.
I think so.
Yeah, good stuff. Jesus and him are having a heated discussion about how Sasha and Maggie helped save the town. They should be allowed to stay. Again, Gregory is fuzzy with names. He goes, who the hell is Sasha? He still can't remember who she is.
Maybe if you don't have so much scotch early in the afternoon, you could remember people's names.
The guy's a mess. I just wonder if he still messed up because of the injury he got, or he was always like, I think he was always like this, though. He was even this goofy when we first met him, right? I mean,
do we ever know what he was before the zombie apocalypse? I'm trying to remember if that was ever said in the show or the book, because I'm thinking he had to have been some Weasley politician's top aide in his office or something, because that is, I mean, he's such a dick.
He seemed to know the history of that old building, though. Like, that was something he knew of.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that when he was showing Rick around the place back to that episode?
He had to be a politician or near politicians of some type.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, he's a scumbag.
He's a scumbag. So then Sasha and Maggie actually come in the room, and Sasha asks directly what they can do to make this deal work. She's like, look, we want to stay. What do you want? Let's just get this over with. What can we do? He starts to like intimate that, hey, maybe the two of us together, we can, privately come up with some kind of something, when Maggie just snarls, go to hell. Gregory is now personally insulted and says that, he was going to give him some fruit preserves from Mrs. Caitlin, although Jesus corrects him again, says it's Mrs. Maitland. So he can't even get his own townspeople's names right. But now they're getting no preserves and they have to go home. They get nothing. No soup for you. Then we see through the window, right through the open fence, I guess they didn't get the gate fixed or whatever, the Saviors appear in a convoy of pickup trucks as they usually do, a bunch of henchmen strolling in on foot in the trucks, whatever. And then Greg tells Jesus to hide the 2 girls in the closet. I guess he's motioning towards the closet that was in the hallway. Mm-hmm. Back to Carl and Enid, they're strolling on the road. Carl finds a bag on the side of the road with 2 pairs of old school roller skates. And
that happened to perfectly fit the both of them.
Listen, come on. Well, these things happen, man. Sometimes it's meant to be. And they now share a zombie apocalypse romantic moments, even a little musical montage. They're skating down the road together. That's right. They're holding hands and they're skipping down the road. Which actually, it's not a bad way to go. I mean, skateboard or roller skates, it would be, it's better than walking, right? I mean,
You're in the zombie apocalypse. They pop out left and right. You know there are hundreds of quote saviors looking to kill you.
and you're skating down the street, right?
You are in the most possible immobile things for a quick getaway you could possibly have, unless you're at the top of a hill with a smooth ride down. What the hell? I mean, I get it that they're kids, but Carl is smarter than that. Although I don't know. I mean, he's 16, 17 years old. Those hormones are raging, so who knows?
He's aging quick. Let's put it that way. I mean, like in the book, he's still a younger kid. Like he's still only 12 or 13, right? Now he's
Chandler was 11 when he started the show. He's now 17.
Exactly. So it's moving faster than the show can keep up with. Yeah.
Interesting fact: him and I share a birthday.
No kidding.
The day he was born is also the day that I had my gallbladder removed. Very interesting.
I thought you said that was an interesting fact.
It's interesting to me, Jim. To me.
So back to the hilltop. Greg opens the door to his home for the Saviors, which are now coming to the house. He invites them in. Simon, who again we found out was Negan's right-hand man, aka Trevor from GTA 5, says that they need to talk and they should talk alone in the study. They got some things to discuss, and he wants to see that painting he's heard so much about. So when they're in there, he says that he doesn't know if Gregory's heard, but that his brothers and sisters in arms and in operation have been removed from the field of play. Like he talks in this kind of elaborate way. I think Gregory strokes his beard, saying, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." Inside the office, Simon is now mesmerized by that famous painting on the wall. And Gregory leans over and says, "Hey, you know about last night? You know, we got the message. Message received loud and clear." And Simon goes, "Really? What was the message? Since you heard it loud and clear." And Gregory says, "Well, you guys are in charge." Simon says last night, he says that last night they worked their asses off, meaning the Saviors, to provide an example of their skills. Simon said the other guys that Greg used to deal with, meaning the ones that Rick slaughtered in the compound, got a little soft. They got a little spoiled, and that's what got them butchered. He continues to say that the people who killed them, meaning Rick's group, are now working for them now, and that they're a real good bunch of go-getters.
Wow.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, like, I mean, Simon obviously knows that somebody ratted out where that compound was, right? I mean, they must suspect it's Greg. We thought Greg was going to get it in the scene, right? We even said so much. But, I mean, didn't someone try to kill Greg during the first visit to the hilltop? Like, I'm surprised Greg is still breathing at this point. I just don't get it.
Like the way he was playing that character Simon, just that menace and that kind of intimidation or whatever, that made me think that any moment now he would just go, "Oh, and by the way," and then just blow his brains out.
Yeah, I thought that was coming. I really did, or just stab him or something. I knew something was going to come. But
well, when he mentioned that we were going to come in and save you from the zombies that did, but you did it all yourself, that tells me they were watching. So I was expecting him to say something along the lines of, eventually go, "Oh, by the way, where's the lady that was driving the tractor?" and then shoot him then or something, because I thought that was going to come up.
Right. They were so in control of that situation with that they set up that trap that you're right. They should be have some observers watching the whole thing, but who knows? So Greg asked Simon to tell Negan that he'll play ball, but Simon laughs and says there's no need for that because from now on just think of me as Negan. So I guess Simon is now going to be his handler, or the handler of the hilltop. Simon then asks if there's anything else he should know, any quote hitches in the giddy up. Greg thinks for a few moments and he's stroking his beard. He smiles and then he nods and he says, "You know what? Actually, there is." And then he leads Simon to the closet where he thinks the two girls are. And then Jesus is looking at him, glaring at him now because they're out in the hallway, and he squints his eyes. But then Greg opens the closet. But instead of the girls being in there, all there is his case of scotch that he was stashing for himself, I guess. Simon then says, "Oh, whoa, I hate scotch. I prefer gin, but Negan will love it." He then says, "You don't mind if I just give it to him and said it's on me, right? It's not a gift from you. It's from me. I want the headline on this one." Greg shoots Jesus a nasty look, and Jesus just smirks at him from across the room. Like, "Gotcha, sucker." So basically, at this point, Greg was going to give up the two girls.
Yeah, he's a douche.
Totally. Simon is now rounding up the troops to go through the town and take half, and he says only half of everything that they own. On the way out, though, he asks Greg to kneel before him. Just one last thing. He wants a good kneel out of him. Greg seems dazed at first, but then says excuse me, but eventually he does kneel. Simon leans in and says, "That's a solid kneel, Gregory. Remember that for next time."
This was another point I thought he was going to kill him.
Like right there, Simon was kneeling, right? Yeah.
Right. Now, is this where we had this commercial break for hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell?
Actually, it definitely is. So at this point, we are at that point, folks. The highlight of most of you think of this podcast. We are at hashtag passage, Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage brought to you by Taco Bell. Now again, Aaron is Liv Moss. But Aaron's not with us. However, he wrote in his titillating analysis.
On the back of the Cholito wrapper.
Hold on, wait. Yes. Hold on. I got to get just on the very edge of my seat here. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, you
can definitely sit back.
So, Jim, do you have it in front of you? Can you read Aaron's thoughts? Okay, great.
Aaron's synopsis of Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell, Liv Moss.
And he wrote all that, by the way. He wrote that exact thing. Yes.
I'm reading it verbatim as he wrote it. I would not edit the other day into it. Guys, this week's Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell, Liv Moss, was insane. First off, we start with Night Girl and Panicked Woman cutting their way through a fence and making their way into an abandoned, seemingly dangerous area. Then Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell, Liv Moss, really starts to wrap up. While looking around, a construction worker Walker, a CWW.
Oh, so he's union. He's part of CWW. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So, on a chain leash, attacks the ladies. Knife Girl hands her knife to Panicked Woman and lets her go after the Walker. She hesitates and doesn't know how to handle it. Then, in an unprecedented move for Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell, Liv Moss, a random gunshot takes out the Walker. The women look on and see something to be continued.
Oh, did you fall off your seat, Chubb? Are you still there?
I'm hanging on. Barely, but I'm hanging on.
Wow. That was so exciting.
On the back of my neck for standing up as I read that. So.
I've got goosebumps. I'm telling you.
The socks are thrilling right off my feet.
Listen, for those of you that don't watch Fear the Walking Dead, this is kind of the stuff you're missing. All right, we had Flight 462. That was a whole epic saga of an air flight that just didn't make it well, and now you got this. I mean, Liv Moss, guys.
So that was Fear the Walking Dead, our recap of the week's Fear the Walking Dead, hashtag passage presented by Taco Bell, Liv Moss.
Jim, thank you for handling that so professionally in Aaron's absence, because we know this is like the highlight of the program, at least for him.
I expect my burrito in the mail. At least not the El Grande or something.
Yeah,
did you want mild or fire sauce with that?
I want the volcano sauce.
Do they have volcano? They still have that anymore? They got rid of lava sauce, didn't they?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I haven't eaten Taco Bell in years.
We were talking before this podcast. We're going to do a fast food podcast, I think, because we were debating 11 herbs and spices and some of the stuff in KFC. So I think eventually, stay tuned for that, folks. We're going to surprise you with that one of these days. But anyway, getting back to The Walking Dead, Carl and Enid finally made it to the hilltop, and they see the Saviors cleaning them out, same way they did Alexandria just an episode ago. Carl remarks though he doesn't think Negan is here because he doesn't see that same black truck that he was in last time. Enid then realizes that Carl wasn't just taking a drive or even trying to save her, but Carl was actually out there looking for revenge on the Saviors. And he says he can't let them get away with this, Carl says. He asks for her to come with him to avenge the deaths of his friends, but she says that even if he did it, how would he make it back? They share kind of this nice little kiss, a little teenage love there. Enid begs him not to go, but Carl is determined. Enid then decides to go and just sneak into the hilltop, and that's what she does. in Gregory's bedroom. Jesus lets the two ladies out of the closet, so they put her in a different closet. Gregory storms in fuming. Jesus said, "Hey man, you said to put him in the closet. You didn't say which one." Greg is still mad about the deal that they made with Rich, aka Rick, and the Alexandrians. And it went sideways. Maggie tries to speak up, but he tells her to hold on a minute, dear. So again, doesn't call her by her name, calls her something else besides Maggie. Jesus finally takes charge a bit and says that Maggie and Sasha are not leaving, and that if Greg doesn't like it, he'll tell the whole town about his deal to try to take out the saviors. So much for your plausible deniability. Greg just smiles and says, "What now? So you're in charge?" Jesus replies, "No, no, no. But if anything, you're not going to be in charge either. And we can all live together like one big, happy, dysfunctional family." That's a cute line.
Exactly.
Gregory then approaches Maggie, and she takes a nice swing at him, just a full backhand, and then boom, right across the chin, lands a punch square in his jaw, and she then proceeds to remove her father's watch from his pants. He said it was a nice watch, shouldn't let it stay outside. Maggie says to get her name right since she's going to be living there. It isn't Dear, it isn't Honey, it isn't Sweetie, and it isn't Marcia. It's Maggie Rhee. So there.
Yep.
Later,
I love that scene. That was a great scene. And, I mean, it's in the comic. It was Rick that punches him, but it just, man, I just love her reaction and the line she delivers. It's really good.
It's good. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna forget her name again. So later, Jesus explains that Gregory was in charge when he got there. It's him talking to the two ladies now. He didn't agree with him, but couldn't imagine anyone else leading the group until now. Maggie then heads back to her trailer. Sasha asks Jesus to find out exactly where Negan lives, saying, "Look, these trucks are going to go to Negan. Why don't you see what you can do?" She asks him to keep it between them. Don't involve Maggie. Jesus says he doesn't like that, but Sasha says, "You know what? I don't either. But this is what we have to do." So Maggie goes back to the gravesite and finds Enid there, and she placed her 3 green balloons on top of one of the gravesites. Maggie was going to place the watch, it seems like, back on the grave, but then when she sees Enid, she actually keeps it. She doesn't put it back on the dirt. Back inside the trailer, Enid is making some dinner, which looks like a little ragu and bread. I think that's all they have. It's kind of scarce pickings over there. And then Sasha arrives. Enid was saying how she heard about how Maggie ran over the car and the zombies with the tractor. Maggie says, "Yeah, I've done it once before. I had an old boyfriend in high school, and he had some Camaro and I ended up running it over." It used to be a Camaro or something, she said. Don't mess with the farmer's daughter, guys. That's all I have to tell you.
Yep.
Hey, that was a nice Camaro.
Hey, that's right.
Yep, I would say it was a bitchin' Camaro.
Was it an IROC? She took it out? That was the
Sure.
So at that moment, Maggie then hands over the watch to Enid, saying that they don't need anything else to remember Glenn and Abraham by. They have their memories, and that'll be enough. So now Enid has the watch, which is kind of interesting because I was thinking that Maggie would hold on to it until the child came.
Right, yeah.
Which maybe she'll get it back. Who knows? I mean, Enid won't, not spoiling anything. I don't know, but maybe she will get that watch back before long. We see Negan's truck being loaded by the saviors. It starts to drive away, and then Jesus kind of jumps into the back. It's got like an open back truck with this little flaps or whatever, and he finds a case of scotch and drinks a bit of it, and then dumps out the rest. And then we see Carl hiding also in the truck behind some boxes, and he says, "Hey," to Jesus, and Jesus kind of has this nice little smirk, like, "Oh, we're gonna get some fun right now." So and that's
I had a little. Yeah, I had a little smirk too because I think this is setting up a storyline from the book that I very much am looking forward to. So.
They're definitely chewing through a lot of the comic book material, like in short order. They're moving through, and they're moving through it very faithfully too. I would have to say. I mean, like you said, maybe switching a character or two around here or there, but all the points they're trying to hit, they're definitely hitting, and it seems like they're going that way. So, wow, and that is the end of the episode. So, before we get to our illustrious Buster ratings, we can have a quick word from our sponsor. Jim, would you be so kind to discuss our sponsor this week and every week on the Walking Dead TV podcast?
DCBService.com is the place to go if you want low prices on all of your graphic novels, all of your geeky stuff, your comic books, your t-shirts, your cool toys, all that kind of stuff. You go to DCB Service and you can get it there a lot of times cheaper than you get on Amazon, especially with their the specials that they run every month. Right now they're running a special on all the DC Rebirth stuff. I don't know if you guys know or not, but DC just had a big relaunch of their whole line, all new number ones, all new stories and stuff. And all the DC trades with the Rebirth collected editions are 50% off this month. Again, cheaper than you can get them on Amazon. They also have bundles of the actual books that are also 50% off. So if you want to jump into the DC thing, also Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, he has like a comic book line. He's kind of relaunched this Vertigo line called Young Animal, and it's been getting a lot of really good press recently. Those are all 50% off as well.
Wow.
All the bundles of those, and we have some really cool. Well, here's a good example. Hulkbuster statue. It's a paperweight. It's a statue. It's by Bowen. It's a really beautiful version of the Age of Ultron Iron Man Hulkbuster armor that you saw in the movie. The standard price on that is $49.99. DCB Service has it for $35. So you're saving $15 on your cool stuff.
That's a great deal.
Anyway, really cool Boba Fett artifacts statue from the Cloud City version with the cape and everything. Sweet Boba Fett statue. The SRP on that is $65. DCB Service has it for 20% off at $47.99. I ordered a lot of my Walking Dead toys from DCB Service because I knew I'd be able to get them at a good price. I wouldn't have to worry about trying to find them at the stores and trying to compete, getting the ones I wanted and ones I needed. But if you're into the again collecting action figures, statues, clothing, there's some really cool. I'm looking right now at the Star Labs jersey and shirt from the Flash TV show. A lot of people watch that. It's very popular. It's normally $25. It's going for $15 at DCB Service. It's $10 off. Again, I really like this Harley Quinn knit cap. It's like it looks like a Christmas beanie, but instead it has little Harley Quinns and the Harley Quinn symbols knit into it. SRP on that's $28, and DCB Service has it for $13. So that's more than half off. And I can rattle off like good deals like that all day long, all night long. Go check it out for yourself. If you want to get into the comic side of The Walking Dead, they have the compendiums, they have the hardcovers, they have the trade paperbacks, they even have the reprint single issues if you want to go that way. You can get it all there and at a really good price. They have great customer service. If you go to a big box store, you're not likely to have someone help you out in a big way if something goes wrong. DCB Service are just regular. They're a small business and they do really good customer service. They do really good work. Check out their brother site, our sister site, I guess, InStockTrades.com as well. They have a lot of trade paperbacks there on sale. It's fun just going through their bargain bin, seeing we can get for like $2 or $3, there if you're into graphic novels and comics. So DCB Service and go there and get a really good deal on all your pop culture needs. And thank you so much for sponsoring our show.
Yes, they are awesome. Actually, I'm on here right now. Chubb, I don't get you for Christmas. Knight Rider Volume 1 and Volume 2 from IDW. They're finally on here, and they're 35% off. They're brand new, actually. They're only available on digital. I guess they finally printed them now after they got enough likes or whatever, enough downloads. But that's good stuff. 35% off. Can't beat that. Get your Knight Rider fix. There you go. Good stuff. Thanks, Jim, for doing that. So let's get to our Buster ratings. Richard, what do you give this episode? Go Getters.
Well, like I said at the top of the show, it was there were a lot of great moments in it. Like Jim said, the character development. I mean, the Jesus character is one of my favorite in the books. He's definitely, you know, I like the way he's being portrayed on the show. And there is a stark difference between the two, yet there's so much similarity that I really love it. There's some great Maggie moments in this episode, great Sasha moments too, but Maggie, you definitely start to see the makings of a leader, you know, and you can tell there's some reluctance in her voice, but, you know, when the shit hits the fan, you need the person that's going to run into the fray, and that was her. I mean, she went into automatic defense mode, and I mean, it's exciting to see, and everything with the Gregory character, how much of a douche he was, and how well it was acted out, and everything like that. I mean, it was a good episode overall, but like I said, it was a middle of the road bottle episode, but the best bottle episode that they've done in this series, I think. So I give it 3.5.
Okay, Jim.
I give it 3.5 as well. I like the character stuff that went on in this, kind of the decompression in the plot line. I like the general direction it's going vis-a-vis some stuff we know is going to be happening soon, probably from the book. And I thought it was a good, you know, it was a good, you know, one, like I said, connective tissue type episode. You know, kind of just advancing the characters a little further in the story. You know, no blockbuster revelations here or whatever. So, and you know, extra 0.5 for Maggie's tractor driving skills. You know, she's able to take out like 4 zombies driving in reverse. Before she got to the gremlin. Before she got to the gremlin. So
that was pretty cool.
That zombie tried to get away, but she tracked her down.
Oh, that's good.
Don't encourage him, please. He'll just try to combine it with other puns.
He'll parlay it with more.
Oh
Man,
that
was good. I was ready for that one, Jim. That was good. I'll do a 3.5 as well. I'll go with the majority here. I think that it was a nice, neat little package. And I want to commend the show writers and showrunners and whoever's in control of that for giving us neat little packages, not letting these stupid threads linger for a long time. Nothing about it stood out that was annoying or that was, you know, out of context or that seemed out of place for me. Good episode. Yeah, nice time on the hilltop. I think I kind of glossed over this though, but some amazing kung fu from or Krav Maga from you know, Jesus when the whole fire scene was happening at night. I mean, they had some pretty cool shots in there. They're doing these flying kicks and, you know, crazy stuff. I mean, that was alright. It was actually pretty neat. I want to see more of that. You know, we definitely know right now what's happening at the hilltop, just like we know right now what's happening at the kingdom. So they're setting all the pieces. Okay, this is the status of the hilltop. This is the kingdom. This is Alexandria. We know where this is kind of going, and at least, well, not really know, but you kind of have an idea where this is going. But I don't mind that. I think it's actually a good thing. So 3.5 busters for me. But who cares what we think? We have an amazing Facebook group. It's facebook.com. Do a search for the Walking Dead TV podcast. Hit join group. And folks, we are now over 800 members strong. We had 8 members. Yep, we had 8 members join just from last week. New members. So the first time ever over 800 members in the group and getting bigger. So you get to leave your very own Buster ratings if it's The Walking Dead, or Toby ratings if you're watching Fear the Walking Dead, the few of you that remain. And it will be Jim's honor as always to read them. So Jim, please take it away.
Well, first I'm going to read Aaron's thoughts and his Buster rating.
Thank you. Yes, we don't forget about Aaron's thoughts. You're right.
Yeah, because he couldn't be here tonight because he had big Hollywood things to do and you know, giant stacks of money to go spend.
Yeah, Disney's paying him off this week, right, Richard?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got that gold-plated Segway and he's out on, you know, Santa Monica, you know, going up and down, showing everyone, you know, lighting everyone cigarettes with $100 bills. Very Scrooge McDuck-like in that regard. I'm giving Go Getters 3.5 out of 5 busters. A stronger episode than last week, even as the pacing still felt kind of off. I can't say I felt all that attached to the emotional side of Maggie and Sasha, as the show doesn't seem to be doing much effective work to handle the impact of killing off Glenn and Abraham. However, this episode did plenty to make me yearn for more of the Weasley Gregory. Xander Berkeley is terrific in this part in all the ways I would hope. He's unlikable and self-centered, but also understandable in how he ultimately wants to protect himself and his people, even if it is from a coward's perspective. Also great to see more of Simon, who's menacing in all the ways I don't find Negan to be. The scenes with him and Gregory were a highlight. The big action scene was kind of silly. Saviors just snuck in and lit fires. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that myself.
Like, where the lookouts, right? Like, who's watching the place? Yeah.
Don't look over here while we set up these bonfires, okay?
They're sleeping.
The roller skating B-plot wasn't terrible and better than more of just Rick's sad face. It's no classic, but a solid episode. Okay, back to stuffing gold bullion on my money hat. Peace.
Did he write that? He actually write that?
I don't write the news, I just report it.
That's awesome.
And now, as Craig mentioned, we have a great Facebook group, 800 members strong, The Walking Dead TV podcast. Please join us and we have a lot of fun memes and discussions. And also, you can link to Aaron Neworth's longer, more in-depth reviews at theyoungfolks.com from our Facebook group. So if you want to hear what Aaron had to more, you know, what more he had to say, a little more in-depth, he writes a review every week of every episode.
I like this. Aaron can just mail this in, man. He just writes his review. He can write his little Fear the Walking Dead thing. He gets plugs for his articles. This is nice. This is actually not bad.
Well, he's living the life of the millionaire. So.
Hey,
he's in the life of leisure.
Yeah, he's already perfected phoning it in from his skills he learned in reviewing Marvel movies. So,
It's going to be
you know,
Styles Rich and famous very soon, if that show is still around.
Champagne dreams and caviar wishes, right? There you go.
Right. Yeah. But who cares what we semi-professional podcasters think? We would like to hear what you, our Facebook group, would think. We're going to start off with Mandy Dean. This week, 1 out of 5 bottles of scotch. I spent most of the episode confused, and was it just me, or was there some horrible acting? I'm looking forward to more Jesus. Dre Irvin 3, Carl drives like his mom out of 5. Gregory's pretty much. No, I think I already said that. I probably read it earlier in the week.
Oh.
So.
He put it 23 hours ago. He got it in first, right?
Yeah, probably. Gregory's pretty much the Nicholas character of nicer clothes. He's weak and probably will still try to sell Maggie and Sasha out, and I hope they have to kill him. I think Carl and Jesus will make for an interesting duo on the road with Carl and Jesus. I'm happy Baby Rhea is still kicking. I think Maggie will be a great hilltop leader.
You're here.
Yeah. Janet Brimroden 3 out of 5 big green tractors. I love Maggie using the tractor to squash the car and stop the music. She did say seated like Sasha told her to. Glad Jesus finally stood up to Gregory, though that took way too long. He's not just a creep but a horrible leader, though. It made me laugh when he was trying to warn Sasha away from Maggie. I like the interaction between Enid and Maggie, but Carl is being way too impulsive and stupid. At least having Jesus with him should keep him alive. Mike Jones 4, Simon says out of 5. I like the tension of Simon. And Gregory moments when Maggie and Sasha were in hiding. It felt like it was a step up from last week. My only gripe was the Hallmark movie of the week segment with Carl and Enid roller skating.
Yeah, exactly.
Brent Jones 2.5, Sasha holding Rosita's jewelry out of 5. Glad we finally got to see what happened to Glenn and Abe's remains. Disappointed in the lack of mourning by the ladies, but I guess they've both been through so much loss already. I wrote like 3 Jesus saving Carl jokes and then deleted them. I don't want to offend anyone. Hopefully Jesus takes the wheel on the 3 mission.
Nice self-censoring there, Brent. We like that.
Yeah, but he stuck it in there under the line. So that's pretty sneaky, dude. I see what you did there. Johnny Stower 3.75. My name is Johnny, not Joey, out of 5.
I think you said Joey last week. That's probably why he wrote that.
Did I? I'm sorry, it's Johnny.
It's Johnny 5. Johnny Stower. Johnny 5.
Johnny Stower. Hey, I got it right this time. A good episode. I liked how it focused on 2 different plots this time, Carl and Enid and the hilltop. The roller skating was dumb, though. I was hoping walkers would attack, not stagnant like the rest of the episodes of the season have been. Gregory's so full of shit, his eyes should be brown. Hopefully a solid episode next week is coming. How about the little Fear of the Walking Dead? The suspense is killing me. Ugh. Yeah, well, it's a powerful thing, the hashtag passages presented by Taco Bell.
Get some Taco Bell, Johnny. You'll feel a lot better. It washes it down a lot nicer there. Yeah.
Live Moss.
Live Moss.
Your Baja Blast and your queso lupa. You'll be in good shape.
I'm sorry, you might have to edit here. My computer's doing weird stuff. Okay, Mary Charpecchia, 3.5. Green Gremlins giving you the bird out of 5. I did like that.
That was a nice set piece.
Other than last week, lots of more tender moments in the episode. Maggie at the graves, Enid putting balloons on the marker. I'll be at the wrong one, and the passing on of the watch. Not a big fan of the roller skating bit, but I get it. They're young and it's better than walking. Something was off, though. Can't pinpoint whether it's acting or certain parts or the dialogue. Looking forward to Jesus and Carl's adventure in the Sanctuary. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
Harold Turk, 2 roller girl scenes for Boogie Nights out of 5. It was a filler episode, and all the texts are compelling. However, Simon and Gregory's interaction saved it from turning into complete garbage. Susan Monk, 3.75. Talks with Jesus out of 5. Someone please tell Maggie that climbing out of a roof and driving a tractor does not count as bed rest.
Right.
Yeah, good telling that to her. Yeah.
Paul McCackern, 4 out of 5. Roller skating teens, although seemingly odd mix of characters, this really worked for me. Hilltop feels like the path through the Negan mess. I'm really happy we didn't have to deal with sad face Rick again for another episode. I agree. Gwendolyn Johnson, 3 out of 5. How is Enid going to find Hilltop? Dre Irvin offered perhaps a women's intuition. Ian Roswell, 3.75. Thank Jesus for a decent episode out of 5. Very well acted by all, and Gregory is portrayed excellently. Apart from silly roller skating bit, Carl and Ian stuff was great. Keep this up, good work. Ian Timms, 3 out of 5. Who likes rhubarb anyway? Another ingredient for the Walking Dead cookbook.
You see, Jim, there's demand for this cookbook. There's an audience, man. That's it.
Carol's casseroles.
Yep.
And,
Rhubarb pie is good.
I do like rhubarb pie. I can go for that. Yeah. Little Baker Square, right? Do a little
did
rhubarb pie.
you know that rhubarb can be poisonous if you don't prepare it the right way?
No, I did not know that. I know it's like really red, but I didn't know it was actually poisonous. Wow.
It can be.
Wow.
Carl Hooker, 3. Maggie for Hilltop Mayor Yard Signs out of 5. The Jesus Coral Road Show could replace Norman Reedus' show. I give my right eye to see the look on Negan's face when those two show up. Oh wait, sorry, Carl, too soon. Remember to change your bandage.
Now, I don't know about this Maggie for Hilltop Mayor. I mean, she was using that private email server at the prison. I'm just saying. I've heard.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. They'll have to have an election.
Not even going to touch that. Tan Bono, 3 or 2.75 roller skates out of 5. It was just okay. Pretty much the setup episode dragged a bit. I did tear up a little. The beginning scene with Maggie and Sasha by the graves. Katie Levesque, 3.75 ugly green cars. Maggie, Sasha, and Jesus were the best part of the episode. Love the Maggie moments. Monster tractor car crash was great, and bitch slapping Gregory was super. All this time later, and Carl has still not learned to stay in the house. Good one. Now he is stealing cars too.
Coral.
He is going down a slippery slope there. Looking forward to seeing what happens to him and Jesus in future episodes. Pamela Burton, 4 out of 5. I really like this episode. I know it was set up, but it was enjoyable to watch. I love the friendship between Maggie and Sasha, and I love seeing Jesus work with them. Richard Chopper Cherry Charrington, 4. I heard bad reviews for this episode, but actually quite enjoyed it out of 5. The scene with Gregory and Simon was nice and tense, but whenever I hear Simon speak, all I can think of is Trevor out of GTA. I can't see Richard. You went the facial hair and stuff. I'm looking forward to see where the Carl Jesus heading to the Sanctuary plays out. Michael Santana, 4. Sunday. Monster Tractor Rally is out of 5. Love.
If you're not there, you better be dead or in jail.
We'll give you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. Love watching Maggie take out walkers and up-armored AMC gremlins with their John Deere Death Machine. Great Negan free episode. A little does go a long way. Michelle at Peoples, 4. We need to talk out of 5. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this episode, but dude got such a kick out of Stephen Alex Simon. Found him way more menacing than Negan, probably because I had no idea what to expect from him. I love Maggie and Sasha's friendship.
I like that Saggy. That's a good little combo there.
Did you just ship Maggie and Sasha?
Yes. Saggy.
Well, now I have a whole different picture in my mind. Those two have lost more than most and still get up. Take charge of kick-ass. I did scream yes when Maggie said my name is Maggie Ree, and hey Carl got his first kiss and inherited his mom's driving skills. I have inappropriate feelings for Jesus and feel dirty in a good way just writing that. Okay. Most of all, I want to take a moment. Thank you guys for such a great podcast. Life has been a bit rougher than usual for me. Your podcast has been a great escape for me, and I thank you for getting me through the rough patches.
Oh, Michelle, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey.
So we do it for you guys, so great. I'm glad we can bring a little smile to your face. That's what it's all about.
That and of course the free tacos from.
We're not getting Taco Bell, by the way. We should be getting sponsored by Taco Bell.
Maybe
I'm like any checks, guys. I'm gonna check my mailbox.
I got paid in volcano sauce.
Lava, hashtag bring back lava sauce, right? Because it is gone. I'm sorry. I'm a fast food junkie. Taco Bell, you're missing the boat, man. That's all I'm saying.
Andrew Park 2.5. Don't sit near Coral when he's playing darts out of 5. Agreed. This felt like a connecting episode. I must admit I was a bit bored. I enjoyed the scene that gave the name Monster Truck a literal meaning. Kung Fu Jesus was fun, although I was distracted by his beard, which seems to be real, unless the actor is likes rocking a fake one on The Talking Dead. Simon's super bright Hollywood smile was a bit distracting too. Good dentist on Negan's books. Also, the chances of finding 2 pairs of roller skates that fit exactly.
You said that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Anyone would think we're on Easy Street. Which, much to my chagrin, has been an earworm bouncing around my skull for the past 2 weeks.
You singing it, Richard? You singing it?
No, that's enough.
Champagne.
Rob Cook 3.5. Don't call me Marge out of 5. You can certainly see Maggie moving into the mayoral role by mid-season. Gregory's an awful person, but still good to watch. I'm not sure how Carl is going to go about killing Negan, but by the looks of those dart skills, he's not going to be with knife throwing.
Right.
And Jason Cluett, 3.5 piles of giant sandwiches out of 5. I love the Gregory Simon interaction. It was a whole heap of Ninja Jesus action.
Love the Ninja Jesus. That was good stuff.
And if you'd like to join the discussion and the fun on the group, it's the Walking Dead TV podcast group on the Facebook. Please come join us.
Yes, like I said, 804 members strong. So yeah, just go to Facebook, join the group, we'll get you in very quickly. You can leave your very own Buster ratings if you like every week, and it definitely makes the show even that much more fun. So guys, any final thoughts on this episode? I know we're looking at the previews of next week's episode. Looks like it's going to be kind of a Tara Heath episode, at least to a certain extent. But any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think that we pretty much said everything we thought, and I kind of like the way they're done. Some of the episodes seem too crowded because they seem like they have to show what's happening with every member of the cast, at some point in the episode. And I like these that kind of focus on just some groups of the cast to kind of give them a chance to really, identify the characters and stuff. So.
And there was a little bit of an AD thing going, right? We did see Carl Needham, and we did see even Rick a little bit in the beginning, so I didn't mind that. I can deal with a little bit of going from here to there. That's fine with me.
I had a question regarding that too, just a technical behind the scenes kind of question. So I read Andy Lincoln gets paid $90,000 per episode, right? Now is that they just take a total amount they're paying him and divide that by 16, or is that just the episodes he's in? And his 2 seconds in this episode did he get $90,000 for just that?
I'm going to assume yes, because how do you know what the scripts are going to be? Like when you sign his contract at the beginning of the year, you don't know how many he's going to be and how many he's not, right? So.
I'm just saying, I'd like to make $90,000 for work in 3 minutes.
He needs to give his sweatlands a break after the last couple weeks.
Yes.
He'll say, you tried not sweating in the Georgia heat like we work in every day. It's like, he does have that sweat thing going on. I always wonder if he sprayed his face or something like that. If they actually put it in his hair and made it look drippy. Like, or is that just him? Is that just Lincoln's sweat
The funny thing is, mostly his scene was in this episode was kissing Michonne too, so he got paid pretty much for just, making out with a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Brown chicken, brown cow, right, Richard? Come on. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that.
That's enough of that. Oh, great. So we'll be back again next week. But before we do, where can our listeners listen to our lovely voices when we're not talking The Walking Dead? Richard, how about you?
Well, I'm on HHWLOD Network on the DC TV podcast, which we cross over with Daryl Taylor on the Taylor Network of podcasts. It's myself, Jim, Daryl, and our friend Jerry, and we talk about all the DC television shows each week. And there's a lot of them each week. So
it's a lot of TV you gotta watch. You gotta watch all those DC shows, plus The Walking Dead. I mean, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
The things we do for you, really.
Yep. Yeah. And you can follow me on the Twitters and Instagrams and all that at Chutoad01.
Excellent. Jim?
As you mentioned, I'm the producer of the DC TV podcast that we're on HHWLD.com. Also over at Taylor Network podcast, I'm on a show called Nothing's On with Donnie Salvo and Daryl, where we talk about movies and TV on a more general basis. You can check me out there. You can follow me on Twitter at Yoda Jones. And yeah, that's about it.
Yes, and if you want to listen to my lovely voice, I'm hosting the Auto Chat Show, autochatshow.com, facebook.com/Auto Chat Show. Me and my co-host Eddie and various guests review new cars, discuss cars and pop culture, whatever else goes through our brains at that moment. Pick over the remains of motor news. We actually got the new 2017 RAV4 got delivered today, so I'm working on that one. We had the Mitsubishi Evolution Final Edition, so if you're interested in hearing about that, that'll be in an upcoming episode, probably the next 2 weeks or so. We'll get into that one. And we've got the Kia Cadenza coming as well, so stay tuned for a lot of new car reviews if you're interested in that kind of thing. So we'll let Jim finish this episode out. Jim.
When there's no more room in hell in the dead walk the earth, remember, we're going to turn Hilltop into a giant mud pit.
Sunday!
The big wheels with the big deals at the Metrobus.
I love it. Thanks, folks. Take care.
They were farm kids way down in Dixie, been in high school in the 60s. Everyone knew it was love from the start. But July and midnight hour, they climbed up on the water tower, stood on the rail and painted a 10-foot heart. And John Deere Green, on a hot summer night, he wrote Billy Bob Love Charlie, and Better Street was high, and the hook said that he shouldn't use red, but he looked good to Charlie. John Deere Green. They settled down on 80 acres.
So, Jim, we have an important question for you.
Okay.
Okay, this is very important. Now, we know that KFC has